Albion Online has been in development since late 2015. I've seen various gameplay footage of the game, and it looked pretty interesting. The game touted its catchphrase, "You are what you wear," and having played the game now, I can truly agree with that statement. Let's talk about my experience with Albion Online and see if it's worth your time, or at least a look. Albion Online is considered a sandbox MMORPG where the player does indeed have a lot of freedom in what you do. Sandbox Interactive, the company behind Albion Online, emphasized in their early development interviews that they wanted to provide a MMO experience with player freedom. You can be a hardened warrior, a seasoned craftsman, a humble explorer, or a cutthroat auction house merchant. Whether you are a casual player or a veteran to the MMORPG genre, Albion seems to have something for everyone in their vision. Being the first mobile and PC crossplay MMO I've played, I honestly didn't expect much from this little title. Albion Online sports a very refined blend of mobile simplicity with a hardcore MMO grind, including vast customization with your character via a complex skill system from your equipment, as well as an easy to understand crafting system. Other features in the game are PvP arenas, guild versus guild, farming and animal handling, and finally player housing in the form of owning your own private island. Albion Online eases you into some of these mechanics with a quick and easy to understand tutorial, as well as a newbie friendly zone. Here you'll learn most of what you need to know about the crafting system, as well as a very fun progression system that seems to be taken straight from Path of Exile called the Destiny board. More on that later. Once you leave the newbie island, you'll begin your adventure where you'll do some simple quests, and then from there, practically anything you want. You do decide your own story after all, or at least that's what the developers want you to do. Gameplay in Albion Online consists of a click-to-move based system similar to RuneScape or Diablo. Holding the left click will continue to move you in that direction. Your time spent in-game will have you gathering resources of various areas that will divide into mining, woodcutting, skinning, excavating, and gathering. Each of those 5 resource gathering types will craft via smelting ore, going to a lumber mill to cut your wood into planks, tanning your hides, cutting your rocks, and creating cloth. All the materials you gather, once they are refined, can be used to craft armor, weapons, tools, or other useful items such as bags or a new mount to use. There's also cooking, farming, fishing, as well as alchemy to craft potions. Combat in Albion is pretty basic, but it's actually pretty fun. Clicking on any enemies you run across will begin auto-attacking them with your chosen weapon. Q, W, E, and R are mapped for various spells and attacks that you can use. F is for your sprint that usually lasts about 5 seconds, but can be augmented to have different effects, such as recovering HP or mana. D is mapped for things like out-of-combat healing options. A is your current equipped mount, and then finally, 1 is for your potion use, while 2 is for your food use. Of course, this is all based on the PC version I played, but I would assume the mobile version most likely has a more condensed and simple interface. The map in Albion Online at first had me overwhelmed with the amount of content that it currently has. You start in one corner of the world, and when you zoom out and explore how big this game is, it can actually be a bit jarring. Thankfully, at least where I got in the game, it seems like gameplay moves you at your pace in the current equipment tier that you are at. For example, since I was wearing tier 3 equipment, the game essentially recommends that I don't move further past tier 3 areas, where I can train and earn experience, to then be able to eventually move into those higher leveled areas. The map screen also doubles as an information portal, where you can check what each area has to offer in terms of resources, if the area is a PvP zone, who controls the towns, since areas can be captured and then built by players for player-driven economies, and finally, if a world event or boss is being taken place there. Next, let's talk about the Destiny board that I mentioned earlier in this video. Essentially, Albion's progression is determined by this system. Everything on the Destiny board shows your current progression in everything you do. The further you rank each node, as well unlocks other potential nodes within that category. To give an example, my character uses the quarterstaff weapon, which is found in the Hunter tree. I unlocked the Hunter tree by ranking up my Hunter beginning node by using the bow at first, which unlocked the other several Hunter weapons I can use. Leveling my quarterstaff ranks will increase my damage with quarterstaffs, as well as unlocking potential spells that can be used, as well as a further node that can be used to unlock higher tiered weapons. Also, each of the further nodes can be leveled all the way up to rank 100, and this is true for not just weapons, but armor, crafting, and gathering. So in theory, almost every node would take an insane amount of time to fully complete and rank up. Thankfully, there is a system called learning points that allows you to automatically rank your specific skill. However, you are only given a small amount of learning points to begin with, and you have to break an experience threshold before you can even use those learning points. This huge system is what allows you to customize your character. Going back to my current playstyle, I use a quarterstaff with a plate mail body to give extra defense, which also gives me a damage buff that I can use. My cloth type boots give me a mana recharging sprint, and then finally my leather helmet gives me an out of combat mana restore spell, ultimately giving me a current build that helps me restore my mana so that I can in turn cast more spells. That is literally one example of many, and I emphasize many builds that you can make in this game. You could theory craft for hours about what type of weapons, armors, and builds you want to make in this game, because each weapon allows you to switch certain spells and passive bonuses to your character, truly making you as unique as possible. In summary, you really are what you wear. Sorry, I know, information overload, right? That's what I thought too when I began, but it was actually a really cool way to customize your character. There is also daily challenges you can do, which essentially boils down to staying logged in and playing the game for various rewards, with a monthly reward like a special mount that can be earned if you play enough during that month. Sound and music design in Albion is actually pretty good. The music that plays in the background while you play fits the fantasy theme of the game, and the sound effects like whacking enemies with my quarterstaff felt good and didn't seem off at all. Albion Online also has a subscription system and cash shop. With the game going to a free-to-play model, almost everything is available to you as a free-to-play player. Small features like the player-owned island system is locked behind the premium subscription. The subscription nets you various perks like earning experience faster, silver faster, resources, giving you more learning points, among other things. The current subscription cost is $10 a month, with a reduced cost if you pay for more months in one larger package. You can, however, earn subscription by using the silver, which is earned from killing enemies and selling items, so if you play enough, you can actually just earn subscription to keep playing and keep premium perks. You can also buy premium currency in the form of gold, which can be used to exchange for silver from other players, as well as buy some cosmetic items. This has a small pay-to-win aspect behind it, but as far as I've seen, it doesn't really impact much in terms of your power as a player, since everything has to be earned through gameplay anyways. Albion also has a referral system where you can refer a friend to the game, and if they happen to purchase premium status, it will net you some extra goodies once you've referred up to 5 friends, which is a nice incentive to get your friends to play the game with you. Unfortunately, not everything is a major positive with this game. While the game runs smoothly on most PCs since it doesn't require a monster rig to run this game, the graphics are pretty dated, especially in the character models. This was probably due to the developers wanting to make the game accessible for mobile devices like Android and iOS. Don't get me wrong, it's not horrible, but it's not anything like Black Desert Online. In my opinion, I'd rather have a smooth game that is on many platforms rather than incredible graphics, but I do know that it won't be for everyone. Other small gripes I had included things like overpopulation in the beginning areas due to the recent influx of players. Lack of character bag space is also a problem, resulting in slow movement speed in a relatively short amount of time, especially if you're just collecting resources, which can be pretty damn frustrating in the beginning. Even though combat can be fun, it's a bit chaotic and hard to see what's happening if too much crap is on the screen, especially if you have multiple enemies in a pile and you were just trying to target one of them. I don't want to imagine how awkward that must be on mobile devices. Even though the Destiny board is a fun system, I can see it turning off casual players since the sheer idea of how much grinding and gameplay it would take to get to where you might want to be could probably take a really long time, especially since learning points seem to be earned at a fairly slow rate. Thankfully, the game looks to get updates very often, so these problems I have with the game might be addressed later on in the future. Here are my final thoughts for Albion Online. Albion Online is fully cross-play on all of its platforms. That means even if you are not at home, you can play Albion while out and about since you can use your account on your mobile. This also means a healthy population on the game since so many potential people can play it. Although I will have to say at the time of this video, the iOS version has not been released, and when we tried to play it on an Android phone, the website's download link wouldn't work properly. If you like being able to customize the way you play, Albion will allow you to do so in spades. Spells, armor, and weapon combinations are fun to mix and match, and with the Destiny board system in play, the possibilities are quite vast. Rankings and leaderboards for guilds, players, and PvP are also in the game. For those that are looking to be competitive, there is systems in place for that. With enough effort and patience, you can actually earn premium status and truly make this game fully free to play, which is something you typically don't see in newer games. Crafting is fun, and if you like a game where you can craft strong gear rather than hope for a boss in a dungeon to drop it, then this game will be for you. The game rewards you for being a loyal player. The longer and more often you play, the more you'll see yourself sporting cosmetic items that may be exclusive to players that are patient enough. The game is practically begging for anyone to pick it up and play, since it's pretty easy to get into. The only system that may baffle players is the Destiny board, but even that can be understood pretty fast. While the game does reward you for being a loyal player, unless you plan to play Albion for months to come, good luck earning some of the things the game has to offer. The game does demand that you keep playing. It may not want hours and hours and hours each day, since you can accomplish a good amount in a short time, but a lot of the mechanics in the game look to have you wait days to be able to access them. Things like learning points in player-owned islands are some of the things I can think of. In the time that I played Albion Online, I can't count how many times I saw racial slurs, curses, general trolling, and just absurd toxicity within the community on general chat. While a lot of this side of the game is very ignorable, it is something worth noting, considering you will most likely eventually play with a player like that. While the game is fun, I would have to unfortunately admit that the beginning of the game is kind of boring. You won't really get to start playing the way you want until you reach at least tier 3. While yes, it doesn't take too long to get there, it's still pretty uninteresting to get there. Even though the game is very solo friendly, you will want to play this game with friends to experience many of the later features that the game has to offer. Yes, I do understand that the very nature of MMORPGs is to interact with other players, potentially form bonds with those players. It will be discouraging to the solo players out there. My advice is to get your buddies to play this and group as soon as you can. The graphics the game has to offer are okay at best. While personally, I don't mind the graphics at all, some of you out there will. Until later levels where you have the bigger craftable bags and mounts, the weight limit is just downright annoying as a beginner. Expect to resource gather for maybe 5-minute increments and then going right back to town to either bank your resources or craft again. As always, many of the issues I've mentioned within the game can be patched out or fixed at a later date, so please keep that in mind. So that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Do you play Albion Online? Does this video make you want to play Albion Online or pass on it? Definitely let me know in the comments so we can start a discussion. Also let me know if there are any other games that you would like me to cover on this channel. I'd like to thank those who have supported me in my videos, and I felt that giving them a spotlight in each video going forward would be a great way to say thanks, since it's you the viewers that I make these videos for. If you'd like to help me make my videos better and even get feedback before they are released, join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. Anyways, as always, I'll see you in the next video.